This is Stanley McKessock, my dad, with my daughter Trudy in Orkney. Lovely Murray Haddle, who always supported us so well, who passed this year also. And I felt very, very fortunate that I have met and known so many lovely veterans from all over the UK, and we actually have veterans now and people contacting us from all over the world: New Zealand, Australia, Canada, America, Norway, Russia, as well as the UK. So it's been an absolute pleasure to know them and to keep their stories alive so that people do actually know what happened during World War II. Only recently have most of them started talking about it, to be honest, only in the last few years. But the stories they've told me have been sometimes good, sometimes sad, and sometimes just tragic. But every single one of them have got an amazing sense of humour, and it was them or us, that's the way they see it. And just so thankful that they're now being acknowledged. We up at WWII, that's my sister and my nephew who's a Royal Marine Bugler, and we had a reunion up there in 2013 with about 40 veterans. Wonderful dancing, so a little film's coming on soon and you can watch that. We hope you enjoy it. Kiss from a veteran. Golden coach for golden people.
I happen to work again, escape the fire, stove, and butt ridden out to the shower.
That's the first fight you had. Brilliant.
So that's fun. Okay. Thank you. That's it. Okay.
So up at Loch Ewe, of course, is where the merchant navy would actually gather in the loch, and then they would come out with support from the Royal Navy. This is David Craig, who recently, this month, November 2021, opened the trail up at Loch Ewe. I'm now going to introduce you to Donald McFarlane, a veteran who was at Pool U in 1941, and these reminiscences were recorded in 2013 at the reunion.
Did you know where you were going when you left Dundee, Donald?
Yes, we were told. We were told, and of course, very few of them did know where that was, you know. Which the boys were all English boys. And they changed trains at Perth, of course. And Perth to Inverness. And then through the barrier in Inverness. And then on to the other train for Achnasheen. We got to Achnasheen and the 3-ton trucks were waiting there to take us out to Pool U. So that's what happened. We got out the cove And after Cove, there was no right road at all. It was only a track. And the bulldozers had to come and make a rough road out. And there was no road up to the gun emplacements, so the bulldozers made a road.
But what happened when you got into
Aye.
the trucks?
Aye. And then when the guns arrived, we had the barrels were separate and they on a Scammell tractor. And it was pulling the barrel and all the boys in the battery were on the ropes. 2 ropes. And there were 67 men pulling these ropes, take the gun barrels up on top. And that was it.
Did you have any practice firing of the guns?
Aye,
Tell us about that.
quite a lot of practice firing out the right out the opening of the Lochie, you know. We passed the patrol ship and the patrol boat went back and forwards here, out in the middle.
Had you been trained to fire the guns? Had you been trained?
Oh gosh, aye. I was trained at Dundee on the heavy.
And what size of guns did you have?
6-inch guns. They fired a 100-pound shell, and the charge was 22 pounds of cordite, and a pound of gunpowder in each end, and a long silk case. And you put in the shell, and 2 of the gun team rammed the shell, and then a gunner number 3, I think, put in the cartridge, and he shouted in, and I was usually on the breech, because I was good at that, on the breech lever, doing the breech mechanism, and I had a lanyard, and I just fixed the lanyard, hooked it onto the igniter on the breech of the gun, and then you pulled it like that, and then took your hand like that, and you shouted, bang, and you shouted, ready, and then the lawyer would shout, on, and I fired and hit the lanyard, but sometimes it was fired by electric firing, and that was the lawyer that done that, and there's one time, the cartridge number, he stepped back and shouted, instead of shouting in, he shouted, ready. And I just had the breech lever shut. And he shouted, ready, and the lawyer hit the pedal. The recoil hit me, and I got swelled right back, and I hit the bricks at the back of the gun shelter. The lawyer a minute got me shook my head. And, oh, God, I don't know, the only thing I had was a cut in my finger at the igniter cartridge at the end. It got my finger. I got swirled right across and hit the bricks at the back.
What about the lad who put in the live ammunition?
Eh?
What about the lad who put in the live ammunition by mistake? There was somebody who put in live ammunition by mistake. He put in a live plate instead.
Aye, well, that was when I was training. That boy, he was a cook, and they had to do, permanent staff had to do training on the light machine, Lewis gun, and he was practicing on it. And another chap was supposed to be putting on the dummy magazines, you know, the round dummy magazine. So he was practicing on a plane, and the boy that was on supposed to be changing the magazine, he clapped on a live magazine, and the boy went rapping, he filled that plane, the wings were riddled with holes. It was a Polish plane. He riddled them with holes. And that boy went away to the maritime and he got sunk the first time he was here at Liverpool. with a dispatch rider went to WWII every day and met the mail bus and got the letters and everything. And then he came back up and there was a Indian mountain artillery with mules come between Gairloch and WWII. And one day the wee dispatch rider was coming back up, and this big Sikh with a white turban, you know, he stood in the road there with a sheep on his shoulder. He stopped him. I wanted a motorbike for a sheep. He wanted the dispatch rider to take the sheep and he would get the motorbike. And the wee boy got on his bike and off, and he was dead scared. This big Sikh standing there, a big knife in his belt, you know, and a sheep around his shoulder.
So we're now going to show you a little film, and this was taken in Liverpool on board HMS Dragon, and it's a swordfish flying in the river which